right, we're back. The Devil in Detail, the Grendel Reread podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Ben. It's big episode 30, Dirty 30.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Wrapping up coverage of Grendel versus Shadow, number 3.
Oh,
50-page prestige badass book. Better than any crossover has any right to be.
I agree. It's one of the best crossovers I've ever read. And boy, has it got me back into my love of the Shadow and my love of radio drama. And oh my God. I've
You're
got
going to drop
to
so much shadow science. A lot of it is mainlined right from Matt Wagner. I would wake up, and you guys are both West Coast, and I would see that you're chatting about the Shadow into the wee hours of the morning. It's very surreal to be like, oh my God, you're still talking about this.
Oh my God, it's been amazing. And Matt made a list for me of the best Grendel books to get, and I bought a couple of them and history books of the Shadow to read, and I found a couple on archive.org of the older books that are probably in the public domain now. Oh, here we go. Our super special guest of the week coming in hot. We've got Brennan Wagner. What's up, dude?
Oh my God, you guys, the traffic, you can't even imagine the traffic.
No, it's all good.
It's
Your
all
timing
good, man.
is perfect.
Yeah, we are
welcome to the show.
Yeah, y'all good, man.
Where's your blue moon?
I'll go. I have whiskey tonight.
Oh, great.
Very nice.
I was just running down 42nd Street, oh my God, I got a podcast.
So we need the Brennan Wagner fishing report and then the TV report.
Fishing report is shitty.
Damn.
And then the traffic report is even worse.
Yeah, well, what did you watch on TV though?
Oh, I've been watching Clone Wars, the Star Wars saga thing.
Oh yeah.
My wife told me that season 7 is the best Star Wars she's ever seen, and
last 4 episodes are the best Star Wars of any Star Wars of all the Star Wars ever.
Oh damn.
She just
even
walked in and made a
Mandalorian.
big claim. So
I mean it. I did the whole thing during quarantine, and I swear to God, those last 4 episodes of Clone Wars.
Nice. Right. Now the Genndy Tartakovsky stuff is not on Disney.
Oh, that's funny because I was just telling her the Genndy Tartakovsky Star Wars is the coolest ever, but she's never seen it, so we're gonna watch that.
That's so cool.
Nice. I think it's on YouTube actually.
Yeah, it's very cool, that stuff. Yeah, and we're huge Primal fans. Primal makes us emote heavily.
Yeah.
Man, I still haven't watched it because I need I can't watch it during work. I can't watch it before bed, and every other time I'm editing, so I need to find the perfect time.
I screened it for my storyboarding students yesterday, and I had previously put it up as an assignment because I thought it was free on the Adult Swim app, and in the time that had elapsed, it's no longer free. It's only on HBO Max, the greatest streaming service of all time. They didn't pay me to say that.
What? Wait, we just watched it on Adult Swim.
Really? Maybe you have fancy Adult Swim.
I think you need you need a cable provider login or something.
Oh shit! You're right. They've locked all but episodes 8, 9, and 10 of yeah. Wow.
They know they got the good shit.
They know they got the good shit. Yeah.
Big Mouth came back this week. If you guys are Big Mouth fans.
We're watching Big Mouth too. Yeah,
so
great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. The season finale sequence is unbelievable.
Okay.
Of the new season, you're already there.
I will say we watched in 2 days. I will say no more. The season finale sequence is my favorite thing that they've done.
Oh
yeah, we're close. I think we're an episode or 2 away. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Dang, we're gonna have to get into it. We watch Crown in order to enjoy and hang out.
The Crown, yeah.
It's very fun. We're so big on Downton Abbey, which is another weird what is even happening, and then why are we so riveted, and why have we been through this series 5 times? It's amazing.
Yeah, wifey and I don't like that stuff. We don't like.
We do that with Bob's Burgers.
We do that with
Bob's Burgers too. Yeah, that's running on TV when you're trying to go to bed and stuff.
Yeah, Bob's is our go-to for going to bed or whatever. Just it's the best.
Well, Downton is good on that because it puts you right out because it is boring.
It puts you right out.
I got these fellas right here. These the 88
nice. Yes.
Ace Fantasy guys.
And that's the editions that I read.
Mm-hmm. They're so thin, it's crazy. And then I realized that this one that I was showing you, that you were like, oh, that's not the reading order. What I realized is that instead of naming like the books that you know, they were naming the novellas within the books. So the reading is like a lot of research, a lot of science involved in the Elric reading order. Crazy shit.
I've been doing a ton of,
but it's the same order, eh?
More or less. I mean, I think that there's like stuff that he wrote in like between the mid 90s and mid aughts that kind of get retroactively reinserted. Like there's a dream sequence that he has, you know, in like, I don't know like book 4, and then he wrote a novel that is the dream sequence in 2006 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Wild stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of the like the beginning and the end are the things that I remember, and then all the middle is very abstract. Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of shit where he like interacts with other heroes that are essentially him, but
the eternal champion.
Yeah, they're the eternal champion, but like in another universe. So he's interacting with like his own spirit, but in another form, and that stuff's very meta and very cool. Yeah. But kind of just is really to get you to the end point of the story, which is this like epic, huge, cosmic thing.
I remember Walt Simonson did a Prestige series, maybe, and I bought it, and it was probably the first thing I ever read. And I was like, why is he like going to sleep and he's suddenly like a Native American hero? And then 10 years later, I was like, oh, okay. The multiverse, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just telling Ben about all the shadow research I have been doing as guided by your father, man. There's so much cool shit out there. I found this
big nerd.
Oh my God, I love it. And it's been reigniting my love of the Shadow too. And I just bought all these books, and I was reading this Shadow scrapbook last night. I found this paragraph I wanted to share about the dude's like output. What is his name again? Maxwell. Walter Gibson is his real name.
Walter Gibson, yeah.
It says, I was turning out first drafts at a rate of 4 pages an hour, each page running over 250 words. And that meant a little over 30 pages in an 8-hour day, or better than 8,000 words. And at that rate, he could finish a 60,000 word story in less than 8 days. That is insane. And he's like, and still like in this time, he's like writing these like he's ghostwriting Houdini and like putting out these magic books. And he's like going to like, he was like he was production managing some like magic show at a theater too. And he was like writing on.
Yeah. It's back in a day when like, you know, they just saw it as a job. So they weren't second guessing the material they were putting out. They weren't trying to like make something that was super meta or avant-garde or whatever. They were just trying to like get a paycheck. So they're just right, just words, whatever will get them the paycheck. Yeah. And I think that there's something in that production mindset that makes you come up with some cool stuff, especially pulpy material, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the L. Ron Hubbard approach.
Yeah.
Or later like Harlan Ellison. Harlan Ellison's like kind of a transitional generation guy who would talk about that, you know, like moving to New York and not needing a whole lot of money to do whatever, and you know, just write by night and LRH, penny for the word, or whatever it is.
LRH.
You guys want to take a personality test?
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
Give me
what
those
the science.
cans.
Yeah, right.
You and the L. Ron Hubbard thing,
You watched the Leah Remini show, I'm sure.
Oh, I can't get enough. Anyway, let's play the intro and talk about Grendel versus Shadow number 3.
Song going.
Hey.
2 in the box, ready to go. Any fast, any slow. Yeah. Vivat Grendel. It's like the devil is my best friend. 100 rows with the pen to the fork end, or till time end. Like Orion, Jupiter, my kin, bloodline private. oh shit, the wolf won't beef, then we feast off the rip. Behold the devil in detail. Behold the devil in detail.
All right, we're back. The devil in detail, and we are diving right in, head first, shadow first, into Grendel versus the Shadow, issue 3. And oh my God, again, we are dropped right into the battle. The Shadow's eye knows exactly as Grendel creeps up to fork him from his endodental.
So it's reversed. It's reversed, right, of what happens at the end of the last issue.
Exactly.
We have instead of the Shadow getting the drop, we have Hunter getting the drop.
Exactly.
And I think it works really good for an arc that's only 3 issues. So at the end of the first arc, you get a about to drop action sequence. At the end of the second arc, about to drop action sequence. Just kind of, I feel like it keeps the pace fun, lively.
Keeps it rolling.
Yeah, the creator is not playing favorites with these two completely equally balanced, you know.
Right.
I love how Margot describes the cubist experience of the way Lamont describes his his low grade clairvoyant powers,
That's supposed to be represented in the art there, how it's all fragmented and broken up,
and like a little more like, maybe not pastel is the word, but like a lighter hue in the background images there.
Yeah, I thought of it as sort of almost like the Shadow's like spider sense.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like a very similar sort of clairvoyance, like able to like perceive things that are about to happen or are happening. And
as he slowly pulls his gun.
That looks like about the brightest green you can get in CMYK. Is that
correct, Ben?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Brennan.
Correct. There's not much options for a neon brightness. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I really enjoy how the panel that's in the 6 o'clock position is the one that actually gives us the spatial clarity on that. Like Hunter is right directly behind him,
right there,
inches away. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
I like how kind of abstract all the shapes and the perspectives are in each of those. So it feels really fragmented, really broken up. Like you never get that clear view until you turn the page.
Yeah. I know you want to turn the page, but I do want to give you one more compliment. And it's that in the 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock positions, you've got panels that are broken up. Like there's 2 panels of the same image, and you kind of slightly shift the color profile. Mm-hmm. So that was very cool. Very cool stuff.
And again, in the world of Matt Wagner, magic is green, because it just seems like this is like some magic. Again, like the magic that took Hunter here in the first place too was green. And
turn to the spread, baby.
The sweet ganja.
I feel like Eli, I feel like green, that green you're referring to, it's always a color used when you're trying to go mystic, mysterious, spiritual, magical. That color green is so otherworldly that when you use it, it always evokes something odd, something weird.
Oh, got it. Not natural, not it. Like, got it.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, we turned the page to another amazing. What'd you call it last week? The half spread or the half splash?
Yeah, I think I called it a semi splash. Yeah, it's
splash.
It's basically a splash page, but my dad's really smart about these. He throws them in a lot where it's semi splash, so you feel like you're getting a splash, and yet this spread is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels. So there is a lot of the camera movement, a lot of like story movement and stuff happening, even though it does feel big and splashy.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they're showing their toys off here a little bit too, now that he's in the like shadow cave and he's kind of like confronting him finally.
There were a number of panels in this book that struck me as very Alex Tothian, and this one in the lower left was definitely, I mean, I was looking at him like, man, just like the way that the face kind of, the dimension on the face is very like Franco Francavilla or Alex Toth. It's and when we were chatting offline this week, Eli said to your father, "Oh, it looks like Toth was an influence." And I think he said, "Oh, you think?"
They
Oh,
give me a
yeah.
nice
I mean, my
lull.
dad is obsessed with Alex Toth. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And I was just thinking a lot about that, like, boil it down, keep it as simple as possible, keep it as fun as possible. And there's a lot of panels that really capture that. I also like this third panel, just the silent high angle shot of them just chilling, facing off.
You have to draw the camera back this is a good example of like how often. I mean, the third panel in, got to draw it back because we need to see. If it's all torsos and faces, it's hard for us to have a sense of place or scale.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I note doesn't happen very often in like commercial manga.
Yeah.
And kind of just like turns me off from a lot of it.
Or commercial films. I actually have a problem with commercial films. The way they do action sequences these days is a lot of torso, a lot of quick cuts, and you rarely get that drawback so that you can see some action unfolding, some real choreography, some fight choreography, and it gives you a sense of scale and setting, placement. So you know where you are, you know what the characters are going through when they have to deal with like a small bridge that they're battling on or whatever.
That's a big sin of Michael Bay from when of what I recall of the Michael Bay movies I've watched in the last 15 years. So the robots are too close. I can't tell what's going on.
My wife just said, because you got to get the moneymaker. And that's the thing with film and TV a lot is they're actors' faces. The whole budget is based on showing John Cusack's face for however many minutes out of the my wife said it's a dated reference.
I was thinking the same. Yeah.
John Cusack's marionettes.
Him in The Rock. He was in The Rock, right? He was the cop in The Rock. God.
That's Nick Cage.
No, Nick Cage is
John Cusack's in The Rock?
Nick Cage
is Con Air.
Casper Troy or something in that movie. He always has the weirdest names in every movie he's in. But John Malkovich is Cyrus the Virus, and that's why the one guy's like, Psy, and he's like, Anara, throws that thing and blows him up. It's badass. That's Con Air, not The Rock.
That's Con Air.
I've never seen Con Air. My wife's like whispering at me over here like,
fuming.
Con Air.
Dang, I forgot.
Nice, dude.
I like too how the shadow stood up here. He's like not even messing around. He didn't like push his chair back or anything. He just stood up, knocked his chair down. He's like, he's not fucking around. He's ready to go.
That's how fast he is. We don't even see him get up and knock his chair over. He's just,
boop,
it's happened.
He just
already.
does.
He's a very formal guy, like take your coat off, stay a while. It's your own place. No.
He took his mask off. He took his face mask off.
His bandana down.
Yeah.
So Grendel's got his little red pellet, and they throws it at this 19th
throws it at his
chemistry set.
Exactly. His rack of flash powder.
I feel like this is almost Hunter giving him like pellet for pellet, because the last time they fought, the Shadow used a pellet for smoke.
And he was so impressed by that. He was like,
I feel like Hunter is like, all right, this time I got to bring my own pellet. My own fight pellet to the,
which he has a packet of down in the fork. The lower half of his utility fork is full of pellets.
He holds the fork out and it like rolls out, and it's just like he's got everything in there.
Oh yeah, he's got little drawers, little buttons to push, a Pez dispenser of pellets.
I like all these labels on the chemicals. Some of them are very scientific and others are just labeled with skulls and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Glycerin, sulfuric acid, acetone,
silver nitrate,
flash powder. Yeah, it's all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything you need to be a masked vigilante in bottle form.
Yep, and some amyl nitrate on the side for fun.
Yeah,
when he's looking to party.
Senior is famous for dropping the Shakespeare, and in the lower left we have one from the 12th Night. I had to Google.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't know that reference, but I love to hear how the Shadow has to use a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. He's just like done. He's like cleaning up.
Right. Yeah, and then the mask comes
feels
up.
so pedestrian.
Yeah. That's great. Why didn't you pursue him? I guess Margot's asking him right as we turn the page.
Can I give you one more, Eli? This pose in the lower left when he's Grendeling out is very like
Bugs
Casey
Bunny.
Jones Gungula.
Oh, Gungala.
Like
Yeah, it is. That's
like
right.
like he's having so much fun.
I think
Oh,
it's kind of like that Bugs Bunny where Bugs Bunny's like running away like. Whoop, 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 whoop,
Yep.
whoop.
Yeah. That is. He's like, whoa, and he's
Yeah. He's like, ah.
punches out of there. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love the 30s. All right, then everything is very like, take it down a notch, Lamont.
Yeah.
On the Cranston grounds at the Swan.
In the autumn.
And I have to admit, I had a lot of fun with these pages color-wise, because anytime that I'm told that the sequence, when you have an outdoor sequence and I'm told that it's fall or autumn, it means that I just get to go like hog wild with the colors. I get to have a lot of fun with them. And this sequence, you can see that a lot of leaves changing color, and then their reflection on the water too. So you get the red or the oranges up top with the trees, but then they're also reflected in the water. So a lot of autumnal colors going on there.
How do you choose your like color schemes there? Would you ever like take a photo and kind of grab colors out of that or something? Or you just
sometimes, if I'm totally feeling stumped, I will definitely just Google like, if this sequence was like, if the script said, we go to Lamont's, outside Lamont's mansion and it's fall, I'd be probably Googling like mansions in the Hamptons in fall.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd want to see like, what does it look like a well-maintained estate that time of year. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I did with this sequence. It looks like I looked
very
up,
true
influence for that.
What an estate as well in the hills of New Jersey.
Yeah.
We often don't see New Jersey portrayed favorably, but it is here.
Is that canon? Is that canon, Shadow Expert?
That's what I read. Yeah, that
There
he.
you go.
Man, I was reading all this cool stuff too about how he like.
Yeah, it's in Jersey, Eli. I didn't know that.
Pretty sure. Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
I don't remember why. Again, I was reading this before bed last night, but he was talking all this detail about how he chose like the names of people, how he would take this one influence for the first name, this one influence for the last name, and just put them together, and that's how he got his pen name.
Okay. Yeah.
And
funny.
how he got Lamont Cranston too.
Yeah, and it's funny because that's how the Shadow chooses his aliases, and it's also kind of just like how my dad writes his characters. He also comes up with names in a similar way, just like coming up with first names that work and then like last names that are thematically work as well, like just kind of separately.
I like to think that's how most creators work. When I was doing stuff too, I've always done that. Now, Monkey Lion was not hard to think because their names are just Monk and Lion. That was easy, kind of in the name. But when I did other ones, I think I named someone after the character in the Dharma Bums. You always choose from like books you read and stuff. And
Yeah.
My first character, his alias was John Carpenter.
Because he was a carpenter.
It was just good.
Yes.
I was like 10 years old. It was Bald Man. It's not a good character, but that
Bald
was
Man.
what it was. Anyway, so Lamont and Margot is talking about how she's trying to break it to him nice, but how she's got to go.
Yeah.
And all he can think about is the case.
Yeah. She's like, I'm leaving. And he's like, crime.
Yeah.
It's like all he can think about.
Yeah.
I need to leave Grendel as
yeah.
well. Maybe that'll like completely sidetracked by it all.
In this issue, whether it's the Shadow or the Fratellis, or the Valentis, excuse me, Jesus. They spend a lot of time being like, Grendel doesn't take this seriously. Like, we do this to survive. This is our way of life. And Grendel's like, I'm just trying to have a good time, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't grok that.
It's the 20s, bro.
Yeah, we got some great swan acting here.
Oh yeah, on the next page. That's when
And
she's like, dude, I'm leaving.
Yeah, he calls her darling, so it's like it's a real, it's not like a sham. It's not a beard for crime fighting. It's it's like a real thing. But she's like,
I also went back and read
go.
Shadow Year 1 too, first couple issues, and we do see the intro of where, as we were talking about, how she was kind of not. It didn't seem like she really was like a hooker or anything, more like an escort or something for like high.
That's what I said. Yeah, like a 20s, 30s escort. Yeah.
More like an escort. All right. So anyway, she says he's like, I'll always cherish our time together. all right. And all he had to do was say, please stay, or, but I
Yeah.
love you. And she would have stayed. And he's like, you got to go. You got to go.
Yeah. He was just like, fine.
Because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
One
That's
track
his
mind.
thing. He's a crime fighter. They're all jerks. These crime fighters. That's their thing.
I love
Like-
the swan that flies off, flying solo at the end. That's
Uh-huh.
really
Yeah.
nice.
I to be honest, I love panels like that because they're like kind of a throwaway panel for the reader, but for me, I'm like, ooh, swan flying off.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be awesome to render.
Yeah, you get the armpit very nicely.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Looking good.
Well,
Nice.
also the trees and the bushes in the backgrounds, the multi-layer of leaves and stuff.
Yep, and all the reflections and stuff on the water. I just tried to make it feel very autumnal.
The craziest reflection is the reflection of the brick, so that there's a gap before the leaves begin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very like realistic detail. All right,
That's a nice gazebo too.
very nice job.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gazebo. I love the gazebo. Pop's so good at settings. He obviously when he's writing a scene like this, he's like, all right, this is going to take place outside there. The Shadows mansion, where is it going to take place? Gazebo.
Yeah. What
Gazebo's
makes a
perfect.
mansion? Yeah.
Yeah, what makes a mansion outside of a mansion? A gazebo.
Right. A bunch of stairs. Like, that's amazing.
And from as fancy as you can imagine to as seedy as it gets, we catch up with Billy Santini. Oh boy, he's got.
Yes.
You think this is a
Life
place
leader.
that he put Franny up in, or you think it's his place, or he's just got the key, comes and goes as he pleases?
It might be somewhere he put her up in because of the guys hanging out front or something like that. Like
It's probably a place to put her up in. Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
mob
That sounds
owned,
right.
flop house or
A,
something.
a storehouse.
Yeah.
Did you understand? What do I care if one of them pricks gets in Dutch with his boss? I know the phrase "Let's go Dutch," which is where you agree to pay for your. I'll pay for me, you pay for you. If you want to get extra sushi,
Right.
we're not going to split it. What does this mean? He gets in Dutch with the boss, like
Well,
that the cops.
Do you
and
know
the-
that there's a lot of these old style sayings? Another thing Matt was like, he was obviously watching it the other day and then messaging us being like, this is what this
Right.
saying means, you idiots. This is what this saying means. Like
My dad lives in the 20s, so like
Getting in Dutch with someone means getting in trouble.
my
Yeah,
wife looked
thank
it up.
you.
It means getting in trouble.
Oh, word.
All we have to do is look it up. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's
So in
great.
what context does he
She's
say?
quick
it?
with the fingers.
He said,
What
well,
was
because
the one that you were talking about the other day, Eli? It was a card sharp.
Card sharp. Yeah.
sharp.
And what I learned
Yeah.
is that sharp, because I put it in a little ticker, but sharp like became shark because of it being misunderstood for so long. Like the actual
Wow.
term is a card sharp, and it was changed to card shark by Merriam-Webster after it was misunderstood for so long.
Huh.
Crazy.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Just a misunderstanding of the phrase is what causes it to change the vernacular. That's all.
Yeah. And I think we posited that, so we were kind of right, but then I still wanted to put the little ticker there.
Yeah.
great context clues.
Yeah.
You're a good reader.
I had to Google that. There's a word for that when the like term changes over the course of time, but I can't remember. Entomology, maybe.
Anyway, Billy comes in and
Sorry,
he's
I'm
got
looking at
a
here.
big
So
surprise.
Billy comes in. He's getting in Dutch with Franny.
Yeah. He's all drunk. And I guess, the last we saw her, she was beat up. She was roughed up pretty badly. And he gets in there and he kind of sees her in the shadows. And he's like, what? But I thought, oh, wait, did he kill her already?
Yeah, that the last scene was Johnny tells Sofia that she's been beaten
that's
to
right.
death.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
so
Yeah,
she finds it's
Roughed
Right.
up to death.
so I think it's that he's so drunk that she knew he'd be wasted so that she could get the drop on him this way. I love the holding lines that get knocked out on the top of her arms in front of the blind.
So yeah, no holding lines. Pop just didn't draw.
He didn't draw any of it.
It's
So there's just no line there. There's
where you can see the
I'm
blinds
just
kind of
having to
butting in.
define it with the color.
Oh, that's
Super
awesome.
cool.
Would love to
Super
see
cool.
that black and white page just to see kind of like, I'm sure it was like penciled in maybe, and then in the ink stage.
The lines that are obviously dropped out here are the lines of her gown, her nightgown.
Yeah.
And I did that to make her look more like elegant.
Sure.
And even kind of like maybe backlit as she would be from that like window in the dark room or something like that.
Yep.
Word.
Looking cool.
But yeah, and she's kind of like, I'm okay. She kind of lays down, inviting with that like come hither kind of type of thing, you know, that.
That was good. Can you do that? Do it a few more times. But I really enjoy the lower right, the silhouette, the like silhouette skin.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
Classic MW move.
Yep.
Very cool.
Enticing her in until she brings out the knife. And you know, then his drunk strength comes in and pulls off her thing, and she's like, "What, Sofia Valenti? I should have known, you know." And so then,
Should've known.
yep, the classic smacks his bottle off. Which, do you think a drunk would really waste all of his alcohol? You can still batter someone.
No, it's empty. He's done.
Oh,
It's
he's done.
empty.
He filled it.
It's
Yeah.
empty.
He drank it
Yeah.
all.
Drained it in the last frame. Gotcha.
Yeah, he drank
In
it
the
all.
last frame, yeah.
And then he's like, your daddy ain't here to save you now. Until we
But Grendel's there, yep. And
He's there.
stabs him real quick, like
stabbed him in twine. Bad
stab him.
dog. Play dead.
The secondary motion on the like bandana ties is really great because like it's the only thing that's like moving like dynamically. Like you got the drip and the drop of the bottle, but he's like you can sort of see that he like got in there so fast that the only thing that's moving is the flap of his
Yeah.
tail.
It's definitely supposed to be that kind of like freeze frame moment. Like whoop.
Yeah, great page turn. And then this I really like the high angle shot at the end, the way Sofia is drawn and the composition and just
Yeah,
like
she's kind of like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I knew it.
well, it's like when he goes wide, it gets more abstracted and more cartoony. So like
Yeah.
his ability to simplify with scale is always so much fun. When we were looking at the Argent fight a few weeks ago at the end of Red, White, and Black, there's stuff that's really figures that are really wide and like the wrists and ankles like aren't even attached. It's like a
It's like
a
trained.
marionette doll or something like that.
Yeah, super cool one.
A lot of fun. I really enjoy that.
I can't speak for a fact, but I know I will just tell you guys, most artists, my dad included, everybody pretty much, hates to draw hands and feet. So if we can, we will try to cut limbs off. To not show the
Liefeld
feet.
style. Liefeld was a big one on that, cutting those feet off all the time.
Mignola.
Mignola. Oh yeah. Because he just kind of draws them into like lumps of like.
His feet always descend into darkness. And so as a result, he doesn't have to draw his feet. Read some Mike Mignola books and see how many feet you can spot. It's almost like a drinking game, like, and you won't drink very much. You know, it's like, oh, there's a foot. There's a foot. It's pretty rare for him.
I don't feel so bad for always cutting off my feet then.
No, they're hard to draw. They're hard to draw because it's hard to make someone look like they're properly weighted and placed somewhere, you know, in a scene.
Yeah.
So it's
People
easier to just
stand
kinda-
weird too. Like just
Yeah.
their feet are always spread in weird ways, and yeah. So then again, this kind of excites Grendel by seeing this woman that he's infatuated with or caught up with here in this time. She's not fazed at all by the death of this man. In fact, I mean, that was her goal really anyway. And he calls her my Sofia as she spits blood. And she's like, how did you? And then we kind of get a MJ Spidey type of kiss about to go down.
They're very
Oh,
totally.
it's sexy. This scene is sexy for sure.
Oh yeah. And I mean, again, this is the longest we've spent with Hunter, basically, like, because even, you know, Grendel's 1, 2, and 3, and some of the other work, it's you know, split between different things. But I think me and Ben had said that this is the longest we really spend with Hunter one-on-one so far in our coverage. Would you say so, Ben? And so
Yeah,
to see
I mean,
this,
but what's gonna start when we
okay.
get into Behold the Devil is that's gonna blow everything out of the water.
right. Absolutely.
That's like the crown jewel of sustained hunter time.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I mean, we've never seen him, kiss a woman other than Jocasta, and he's even like, sweet Jocasta, avert your eyes. I'm about to. It's about
Well,
to
it's not cheating if you're a time traveler.
right.
Exactly. There you go, man.
That's his justification.
Yep.
The times
It's literally what he's like. She's not even born yet. It's fine. Brennan, your blinds on the flesh,
yeah,
playing against the
next
solid
page.
black in the background is really nice.
And that was the Tothian shadow page that I found and showed Matt, and it's very reflective here.
Yeah, I tried at first to render their skin just regularly, and I kept finding that the blinds pattern behind them was so in your face, I couldn't ignore it. It had to be represented on their skin. It had to carry through onto the foreground figures.
Yeah, man.
And it even makes it more powerful to see that it is like a weakness in Hunter that we're seeing, as he says, like, I swore to you, Jocasta, I would never share my heart with another. This is not just him playing a role or him kind of like getting into.
No, he's into it.
Yeah, he's for real into it.
He's smitten.
Yeah,
he's smitten.
This is another great use of the half splash, because the sequence at the bottom is like a fun little coda, and it lets the core image be as powerful as it needs to be.
Right. And that's the point of those semi splashes, is to have a little extra storytelling after the fact, but nothing that could distract from the true moment of that page.
Yeah, so it's a really subtle way to think about insets and scale contrast on a page. Really cool.
Yeah, and honestly, the next page is the same thing. Is the semi splash with 2 inset panels.
Absolutely.
Was this Shadow Scholars? Is this like a thing that they would do on the radio show, that he would be on the radio in the radio show?
I don't know,
because that must have blown people's minds.
So.
Yeah,
I think so.
It makes perfect sense to get that exposition that you need and to see from his perspective.
People must have gone crazy for that device 80 years ago. Like,
yeah,
like losing their minds.
Reading how fast that it was sold, that he was on a month-to-month book schedule, and it got moved week to week. It was moved like from month to month to like tri-weekly to bi-weekly to weekly, to the point where
I meant like hearing it on the radio, there's a segment on the radio where he's on the radio.
On the radio,
like
in the radio show.
Like the meta, the 1940s meta. All right, cool. And then he gets to, of course,
invaded the city. Oh my God, yeah. So it really is exposition. It really is radio show straight up shit right here. The weed of bitter fruit. That again is another one of those things that it's equal up there with, the shadow who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men. That was coined right there at the beginning.
His hand acting as he
sweet fruit.
His hand acting as he delivers the line is really good.
Yeah.
He's so into it.
I totally get like that.
That's so dramatic. Like who podcasts like this?
I do.
The shadow knows.
Wonderful, like audio bridge into the Valente's lair.
I gotta comment on the previous page on a lot of these, just because I've been. You got it going, man.
More like Sidious.
Oh yeah. Especially from the last movie, Sidious. Oh, he was so.
Yeah, we're watching a lot of Star Wars. Big Star Wars house here.
Nice. I haven't watched the new one from last night, the new Mando yet.
Oh, neither have we. No spoiler.
All right, yeah, no, we didn't see it yet.
Baby knows.
So fucking busy.
And if we may quickly, wait, what? Did you just spoil it?
Spoilers. He's a Yoda.
Ah, yeah. And his name is Grogu. Not to be confused with Rogu from America.
Surprised they named him, honestly, because I was content to have him just be unnamed for a long time.
Totally. These lines, like I've been, I'm working on Ben's book. Ben is publishing a reworking of Barry Windsor Smith's Weapon X, featuring tons of different artists, and I'm doing a page on that, and getting all these tapered lines like on the fingers here in the shadow, and a couple pages ago there were some other ones that I'm looking at, like that's just masterful. The feathering, that's what you said, Ben is called, right? Feathering.
Yeah, sure, feathering.
Oh God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, I stare at fingers like that a lot. All right, so yeah, we're back, and so the Valentis are hearing the radio show. They're listening to the Shadows podcast on their old timey radio, and they hear the Shadow knows.
I love that you call it a podcast. That's hilarious.
You got to keep it
He's
in
just
the
like the
parlance of
OG
our time.
podcaster.
Yeah.
The OG podcaster, like long before podcasting was invented. I love it.
Your color hold on the match scratch, but not on the friction mark is really cool. Rendering on the cigar looks great, and I especially like the liver spots that
Yeah.
you do the color holds on.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice.
Was that Matt or was that you?
That was me just color holding those those remarks that he made, and I color held them because they looked a little too dark.
Nice.
And I color held, I color held the laughs at the top of the first page, and I color held the stuff outside the window.
Nice. Oh yeah. And you really get that Rothko, those squares here, the last panel here. I mean, it's so expressive. I mean, that square might as well be like a thought bubble, because it's like conveys so much like underlying like context. You know, it's kind of one of those things where you're waiting for someone to say something, you look at your buddy like, oh, you fucking did it. You fucking said that shit. You know, so. And
what I like about doing those background sort of abstract squares is when the characters move or have more kinetic energy, like they do in the panels above it of him lighting the match, I can kind of mix it up and I can swirl those background colors a little bit and give them some movement, and then it helps to accentuate whatever the character is doing. In this case, he's lighting the match, so I have in that first panel, it's kind of like the oranges in the background are sort of doing that swiping motion, and then in the next panel, there's sort of the oranges in the back are like flaring up the way that the end of the cigar is.
It almost looks like a palette knife on the match one.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah, really nice layered stuff.
I'm big. I love palette knives and the way that they. I love seeing people lay down thick, chunky paints like that. When I paint digitally, that's kind of what I'm going for. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
All right,
this
so now
this is their strike team, their 30s. That's what he calls them, his bank heist strike team.
At the first
there's his crew. His gangster crew.
Yeah, they're crack team of gangsters. They're cracking wise here down here.
I love the sacks of money that they're like flattened duffel bags.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I don't know where he got those references from, but yeah.
Well, the safe looks great. Okay. So this guy's telling his joke about his gal. And
yeah, how does he not know about the shadow? Actually, the guy with the pump action here, his face is super like classic Matt, like 80s Matt with the eyebrow and the like.
Oh yeah, it's like any character out of Goodfellas, you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, a lot of there's a number of gangsters here that are kind of doughy. And those are, and I mean, there's so many different like Italian American types that he draws with a lot of like body and face diversity, and they're all kind of like, oh, it's like, they're all out of casting basically. So,
that has to do with where he grew up on the East Coast and where he went to school and the people he interacted with. He was familiarized a lot with that type of individual.
Sure.
Doughy Jersey boy, as you were calling.
And he's like, hey, it wasn't that funny, really. And he's like, do you think that that's me with the echoing laughter that's echoing throughout this entire building? He's like, you imbecile, that's the shadow. Oh, and this next page is the classic shadow, cast on the entire wall, with the
that panel might be one of the best panels in the whole book. It's just a perfect shadow panel, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is this like one of two, or like the only time that device is used in this book?
Yeah, it is rare. Yeah, you're right. Where the shadow is kind of cast on a different wall, like almost as if he controls his shadow, and he extends it along the ground and then kind of projects it up onto a wall or something.
Yeah.
Wonderful visual representation of those like unknowable mystic powers.
Yeah,
Very
I was
bold-
really
very
happy
bold
with the
one.
way that panel turned out color-wise too, because the worms of the safe here are coming out, and we're getting the gangsters backlit by that. But then up the stairs is like a rosy red light that's sort of creeping in that looks very ominous and evil.
Yeah.
And
I think we were all going to say this is one of the best panels in the book.
Yeah, it's a nice
For
pick.
sure. Yeah, very cool.
leads us into a nice shootout where, and then also the next page is one of those classic Shadow, like shoot 'em up panels, you know, guns ablazing.
bang, 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 bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, the camera work in this tier up top is really cool. And
and his buddy shot him, like he was trying to shoot the Shadow,
Yeah.
and that's probably another one of those powers where the Shadow kind of can turn like intangible or something like that, become the living Shadow.
Yeah, he's projecting his shadow and causing a little trickery there.
Oh yeah, like the misdirection, like
magician's misdirection. Yeah,
exactly.
Very
And-
cool. All right, so Johnny says, "This is no good.
Yeah,
You know?
something's got to be
They
done.
turned our best
It ain't
strike
working.
team into goddamn Swiss cheese."
And not even the good kind of Swiss cheese. We're talking bodega Swiss cheese.
This is the scene where Grendel is like, "Guys, I'm having so much fun. I could stop him. This is too much fun." And then
Yeah.
the Valentis give this like very Francis Ford Coppola, like, "This is why we do what we do." And he's like, "You're not having fun?"
No matter what you say, this isn't a game. And he's like, but it is.
But it is, yeah. Because I'm having fun, and that's what I do. I play games.
Oh my God, yeah. And it's more exposition here with the Valentis talking about the necessity and you know,
Yeah. And
talking
the Rothko on the bottom is fucking wild.
Yeah.
With this flesh silhouette.
He's kind of got this do the right thing type of thing, you know, where he's saying all the slurs for his people and how their history of being downtrodden and stuff like that, and how they work their way up. And Grendel's like so uncaring. He's like stirring, no doubt, but you know, just showing the difference, because Grendel is cold. Grendel is uncaring and doesn't. He's not in it for this like family growth, wealth.
Yeah. He has no empathy.
No empathy.
Yeah, it's a psychopath behavior. No empathy. Cannot sympathize with his fellow man at all.
He's like Martin Shkreli, the farmer bro.
Farmer bro.
Like the farmer bro, but smarter than that.
Yeah, but better.
Cooler,
Way smarter.
cooler.
Yeah, much cooler.
Not even
Yeah.
Grendel would buy a Wu-Tang album for that amount and not share it with everyone. Son of
Oh, this is, you know what I realized in this third panel, because of the color holds on the mustache. I see
through the glass.
I see it's Valenti. Yeah, I was actually a little unsure if this was Johnny or Valenti, and the diffused color holds through the glass is very cool.
And Grendel's totally barking orders at him, trying to tell him, like, you know, this is what we're going to do for several weeks. Nothing out of the ordinary. Lines of bootlegging, gambling, prostitution. He's trying to continue his crime. You know.
Well, they're saying if you can't get rid of Shadow, what's the story? He goes, all right, you want to get rid of the guy? Like, just then, you know, just cut out the nonsense, and we'll draw him in this way.
Exactly. With fewer targets to draw his fire, the Shadow will come for me, and I will be waiting. And this panel too, man.
Yeah, because he's the biggest threat, so it makes sense. Yeah, that he could
Exactly.
draw
He's
him
like, let me handle this for you. What bridge is this, Ben?
That's Brooklyn, baby.
That's the Brooklyn
Bridge. Another
That's
great
great.
color
Yeah, that looks
job.
great, Brennan. Yeah, the benches underneath the lamps look really great.
It's all great, man. I mean, because that is what the cityscape looks like too, you know, like the purples, the man, I always say this, you know, in The Mask, they're at that one spot in Edge City, and they're like the the methane gas really brings out the oranges of the, of the sky or something like that. So I always think that. Such a good,
There's another. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the big panel with the auto gyro or whatever it is, the building
I
that
love
they're in.
yeah.
It's just like it's so big and so imposing.
Another super early thing that he put in there, even
That's
from the
the
30s.
Chrysler building, right?
Oh, that he.
No, that's in year
That should-
one. Chrysler building.
Okay, yeah.
It reminds me of like sometimes the way that the Styx Hotel is being treated in
Oh, and
in
Mage, yeah.
Discovered. Yeah. So cool. So this is was it Harry Vincent? Did Matt say this is like the first associate, like the canonically first?
Oh, man, I
dude that
read
he
about
kinda
him.
recruits?
Yeah, last night too.
Yeah, it's his first agent, right?
Yes,
I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so handsome. It's crazy.
And so he's like, he's trying to get a report. You know, this is one of the guys that has his ear to the pulse of the community. And despite her shady pedigree, she's well known and liked on the social scene, and she appreciates the attention of men. So he's kind of giving her the lowdown about Sofia.
This is one of her best looks, I think.
Super 20s flapper style.
Yeah. Looking
Very much so. Yeah. I love this, and I'm sorry to get ahead of myself, but I love this on this scene. The next page there has her and Hunter with her arms around him, and there's like a statue of figure like holding up a disc of some kind.
Mhm.
Just really like that.
Well, they're at like an award. They're at like a literary awards or something.
That's right. Yeah.
So this
yeah.
is like that's probably like
Oh.
the Emmy award or whatever.
Yeah, that statue, it stood out to me also because it's like the way that you're, doing like 3-tone modeling with the solid black and the Prisma. It's just like, this is how you make something pop as like simply as possible.
Yep.
Yes.
That's about right. Yep. Because just choosing that really simple shadowed tone that is slightly warmer, that orangey, carroty tone, it really helps to give a lot of definition to that figure. Very simply.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Sophia's there with like another, guy who brings her 2 martinis dry as the hair and sand, and she's like, "Thanks, you simp, but I'm about here with the greatest living author in the world." And she goes over to kind of just like leaves that dude and goes over to Hunter, and she's like, she's fawning all over him, and especially now that she knows his secret, they shared this moment.
The expressive background on the wrist grip does all those
and
things
he's
you
like,
said it did.
Yeah, and he's like, "That's it, man. We're done. I can't open myself up to a weakness like this." Yeah, because you can't be seen with this man both in and out of his mask.
The shrunken whisper lettering is very good here.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh hell nah, no man leaves me like this," and she like goes back to her. Oh, Harry Vincent is who's
Yeah, that's the dude.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
her default. She goes back to like her default.
right, and so this was the flashback inside.
That's his report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then, but he says, but they still, both of them, they couldn't take their eyes off each other like the
Right.
whole night.
And he heard them whisper the name Grendel in
Right.
louded tones. Yeah.
You cannot be Hunter Rose's gal and Grendel's queen at the same time. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's awesome. And so that's a big tip. And Shadow's like, "You certain you heard them talk about Grendel?" And even when he's with his buddies, he's still got to like ride the wave of laughter out of the scene.
He loves using his taglines.
Yeah.
And he uses them well. So why not?
Maybe the laughter is what triggers his powers. He's got to laugh in order to like scoot on out of
He's
there.
got to laugh to like sort of recharge the batteries.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. Okay.
It's
All right, so we flash to Penn Station, to Grand Central, and she's on her way out, and here's when we see a little bit of heart from Lamont saying, "Margot, I can't live without you, my sweet Mar. Don't
Yep.
Mar go, please, Mar, stay."
Yeah, please, yeah, don't Margot. He's this is Lamont being a little sentimental and a little exposed. You know, he's not used to behaving or acting this way, or even feeling this way.
Exactly. And she's like, "What? You come to say goodbye?" He's like, "Margot, please."
Well, you make him sound a lot sweeter than the actual content of what he has to say.
Yeah,
He's
I
just
know.
like, he's like, I'm a very warped guy. I need some help, you know.
Yeah, well, he's like as sweet as he can be.
Right.
Right.
He's doing his best.
He's as sweet as sour candy. He's like that sweetness
Yeah.
that comes after you suck the warhead so
Yep.
long, and you're like, ah.
Yep.
You were always a ray of light amidst that darkness. You were never just one of my agents. And then she told him to shut up. And then your background, Rothko, it heats up a little bit, blooms into the warmth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
and then
really
back to
nice.
gray. All right, back to business. That's great.
That is so stunning because it's the only like really warm color on that page, and so it implies the warmth of that embrace like so loudly.
Yeah.
I love it.
And Margot all but I'm sorry, Brian, what's that?
It's definitely what I was going for there. And then in the panel before, you can see like the warmth like creeping in. Like I have it suggested with a little rectangle of you know, burnt orange-ish.
And storytelling wise, just the little choice to make that bubble like overlap the panel too. It makes the movement between panels so smooth. Love it.
And that's the letterer, man. That guy he's been doing stuff for Pop for a while now.
That's Len
Lanfear.
Dave Lanfear, yeah. They call their, I think he does it with a number of guys, so it's not just him, but they call it World's Strongest, I think, Studios. Yeah, they go under sort of a pen name, but yeah, it's Dave Lanfear, and he just nails it, man. He's been doing stuff for us for a while now, and he every project he just adapts and nails it so well.
He seemed really cool. I met him at a con one time with your dad when they were putting out the new the new Mage. They were like signing posters.
Nice.
Yeah, he seemed really cool.
Is there a lot of
that was in Portland?
That was what?
That was in Portland?
You know, I think it might have been Seattle a few years ago where I first met Matt. And he did this insane Grendel Batman drawing for me. I was like, can you draw like a dreadlocked lion Grendel man? And he's like, I don't think I can do that. What about this? And he's like, I kind of like to like not go that crazy. And I was like, what? And he's like, how about this? I've got an idea. For you, I'll fuse Batman and Grendel together. And I was like, yes. Have you seen it?
No, let me see.
This is his pride and joy.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I do remember Pop showing me that at one point. Very cool.
This scene caps off with like Margot all but looking into the camera.
Yeah, that's true.
And talking to the audience. You know, it's like very like just the right blend of cheese.
Even I can shine a little light into the shadows, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a little corny, the sequence, but it's heartfelt, and a lot of this book has, you know, is lacks in heart, so it's nice to get a little bit of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's kind of like Lamont's minute, his moment to shine as like a little bit of a human character, like we got for Hunter as well. And then we get this American Beauty style scene here with Sofia in a bath of rose petals, ready for her to be tamed by the hunter.
When we were looking at the stuff that takes place in the 80s, sometimes his penthouse is super Art Deco, other times not as much. This is like, you know, this is the perfect spot for him to be living in.
Oh my God, yeah.
Very, very Deca, very Hunter, yeah. I had a lot of fun with this sequence. I gotta say, these 2 pages are among my favorite in the book. They really sing.
Some of the sexiest stuff I've seen him do.
Yep.
I remember, I remember reading Faces, Batman Faces when I was, I don't know, like 13, 14. And I was like, this is like way sexier than what I see in like normal comics. And, like this is like the sexiest sequence. Good job.
Thank you.
Welcome
Yeah.
home, my
Hunter
lion tamer.
likes it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, he's smitten. He's swooned.
And so they were just kind of like doing it in public there. They were kind of like saying, before, like we can't do this, but it was really just kind of like for the public face. And now they're kind of like, behind the shadows, you can be my rose petal.
This is a crazy studio penthouse bathtub with steps.
It's humongous.
It's something else.
It's a nice bathtub, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's like just
got like a big head at the foot of it, like a big statue of a head at the foot of it.
And the scene ends with quite the plot stinger. You see, I think it's time that we kill my father. Oh my God.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yep.
Too, the
Sofia.
top panel too of her just kind of like floating there, kind of like speaking. I mean, you can just imagine like in a film how like sensual this scene would be, like insane.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sexy for sure.
And,
Yeah.
and it plays to her kind of like darkness in her using like her sexuality to really coerce Hunter to do her bidding, to get Grendel to kill her father.
Oh yeah, she's playing him. Just like he thinks he's playing the game, but she's playing him.
Mm-hmm. Rarely do we see Hunter get taken, but boy, he met his match.
Well, we spent a lot of time in Batman talking about Hunter's relationship with Hildy and how it wasn't like, it's
very different woman here.
Maybe it's a quarter sincere. I don't, if that. And like Sofia is like, this is like the perfect woman for him.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. He's very blindsided by Sofia because she seems to hit all the marks.
Yeah.
And she's got that killer instinct of wanting to rule, to take over the same way he does, man. She wants to be head of the family. She wants to, rule the Eastern Seaboard like he does.
And maybe I think he sees her as almost an equal, which is so rare for Hunter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Forged in the fire as well of being raised in the mob and being the daughter of if I am to be Grendel's queen, I must see to all your needs, provide comfort and support, but also insight and warning. Whew, boy. All right, so then we flash next to the hotel where Margot's doing some spying on the Valentis. She calls in a lot of violin cases coming in here, and I don't think it's the Philharmonic. And another great scene here.
Yeah, this week the scale on this big panel is really crazy.
Oh, this is what you were talking about with the copter.
It's like impossibly big, and it's not even a splash.
And this is another thing again of obviously Matt's love of the historical shadow stuff. This gyrocopter.
That's that semi-splash though, Ben. That's even though the top panel is pretty big and there's that inset panel, it's still a semi-splash because of the way it's presented. The way that it feels when you turn the page and you get that like big scale sensation.
Yeah. So good.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And okay, so that's the hotel where the Valentis have been staying, have been held up kind of. So Margot can tell that there's something starting to happen. And she doesn't think they know the difference between an F sharp and a D minor. But they might like a minor because they're weird mob guys. That was a terrible joke.
They like minor music.
Yes, exactly. The minors.
Yeah.
minor threat.
Oh, exactly. They're like punk.
There you go. They like punk. All right. So Sofia's trying to get they want to take care. I don't know what is she saying here.
She's kind of like, the shadow is less of a threat than the rebellion from within the syndicate itself.
Right.
And so Grendel's like, no one would dare to challenge up. until kablam, the
Oh,
door pops
here we go.
open.
We got some
Yep.
guys who would dare.
They're daring.
Yeah,
They're
it struck me that like the real disadvantage that Hunter has for all of his like prognosticating insights into the next 50 years and also how to be awesome. The one thing that he doesn't have is he doesn't have his own guys to kind of build the foundation with. There's no Radcliffe, there's no Larry, it's all he has to go.
now.
He's got to go right to the mobsters and without like his own support system. Anyway.
Yeah, he thinks he's enough, but he's not. I like how he calls him mysterious overlord. He's afraid your tenure is over, sir, and they're about to take him down. Please relieve him of his elegant pig sticker. If only you knew.
Can I ask a question about Tommy guns for all you gun nuts out there? You see this the line on the drum clip, how it's in like different positions. Does that indicate like how much ammo is in the clip at the time, or is that just a?
Don't know.
I have no idea.
Gun nuts, get back to us
I
on
don't own a
that.
gun, and I never shoot them. So
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so then just as Sofia knocks it over, Hunter's like shows her the trigger. She trigs it out and stabs her papa, just like she wanted to. And I mean, oh my God, that probably makes Hunter so hot.
Oh, he's like half stiff for this entire, last sequence.
Oh my God, yeah. Just as his fork becomes erect, his fork becomes erect. If you catch
and then when Shadow shows up, he's just, oh man, he can't.
Oh
my God.
That's too
He's
much.
like, oh, you got knives too? Oh boy.
Yeah, all the
I like
stimulation so much.
The close-up face insets between
Yeah.
the two panels is really nice.
Damn, and then his guys are just like what, and then my joy, Sofia, my joy. That's it, man. Sorry, Poppy, your days are true. And then that's when Hunter's
He's
like,
lame dad. He's a lame dad.
yeah. Hunter's like, yeah, you're my queen. You're so my queen. Oh my God. Loves it until twist of twists. Think again, asshole.
Super twist.
Oh my God.
The twist no one saw coming.
Actually, Sofia and me are lovers. All those shut-ups were just play. Johnny, what the hell's going on, bruh? As he grabs the small of her back and he's like, ho, what we've been planning on the whole time. You provided the perfect decoy. Grendel, you showed up just in time. And he's like, what? I'm just a cog in someone's plan? How could this be? Maybe the Gothic 20s really did catch Grendel off guard. He was too caught up in his love. Dang. And this is where they kind of lay out their plan.
They do the classic villain monologue thing.
Exactly. I always wanted to.
We're going to tell you everything so that you can get out of this and then use this information to undo what we've done.
Yep. It was your weapon that killed my father, the Dolce Dawn. So now it's like you're implicated. Not that Hunter would even care about Ian ever being implicated.
I know.
Someone who signs his work in blood.
Yeah.
Anyway. So he's like, whatever. He's like, who is about to be avenged? And then laughter fills the room. He's like, oh shit, not him now. And then another classic crossover thing where it's almost like, Shadow thinks he's about to avenge some shit, but he's kind of like saving Grendel's hide here. He's like getting him out of it. Amazing Shadow.
I mean, he doesn't think he's doing that, but that is what happens because Hunter's formidable and knows how to sneak out of things. So
there's a great semi splash for sure. The way that the laughter comes underneath, but they still react.
Yeah, that's a really common panel for Pop. I've rendered it a number of times where the shadow breaks through glass and it's just a front shot of him breaking through the glass with his guns raised and his legs a little bit raised. The sort of leaping pose.
The inside, the interior of the building has a great frame within a frame as the glass kind of pops
yeah.
out of that
Yeah,
gutter space. Really cool.
yeah, super 3D coming at you of the glass.
Super 3D.
And Shadow comes in, guns a-blazing, and everyone's in a hail of gunfire. Everyone's getting shot up, including Johnny himself gets one right in the shoulder. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, blam, blam, blam.
This the silhouette panel was one of the ones where I was like, oh, that's so Toth.
I love that panel. The bang bang one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
with
for sure.
just the red kind of showing through.
Yep. I think that looks really nice. I love the expressions on they're silhouetted, but just the tiny bit of teeth that is drawn there allows their wince and grimace to come through in their silhouettes. It reads really well.
Yeah. The hat band also does something interesting,
Yep.
just to like up the readability on the silhouette.
Yep, gives their headspace a little bit of three-dimensionality, just a little bit.
Nice, dude.
And your like Rothko squares in the top, the first two panels almost become like speed lines now.
Mhm.
as
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movement's
yep,
going on.
definitely,
Super
yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just quick blurry bits of color.
Love it.
Yeah. The motion on that cape, really, I mean, that was the thing that just that kind of lightning bolt zigzag was really working for me. And then the contrast of the movement to the right and then to the left. Very cool.
Right. And then next page, man, Grendel is creeping up right behind Sofia. He's gonna do it. He's gonna take that. He's gonna cut her
not
down.
happy. He's
No.
not happy about
No.
being betrayed. He's not keen on that.
Nah, and he's about to go. He's like, "What are you waiting?" And she's like, "What are you waiting for?" And Johnny's like, "No," and just clips Hunter. And Hunter's like, "Okay, that's enough for me." And then this like the window almost looks like a mouth. Like the 30s are eating him alive, and he's about to jump out of the belly of that beast that he was like just in.
Yeah, you want to talk about a Toth panel? That is about as Toth. Or actually, it reminds me of there's some Joe Kubert panels in the old Tarzan stuff that are like this, where he has Tarzan sort of running through some grass, and all we can see are the grass blades that he's parted as he's running through. That's the only thing that's drawn. And just using that negative space to your advantage, you guys should look up what I'm talking about. It's fantastic. That all that Kubert stuff from that Tarzan run is really effective. A lot of Toth inspired stuff in there too.
Yeah, but he should have killed Sofia on the way out.
Yeah, should have.
Shoulda, coulda.
Oh well,
But
next time.
it's super interesting because as Hunter jumps out here, he talks about what really got to him, and it's like the crux of this story. I think it's like the lesson of the story. I'm just gonna read it. I who fear nothing and triumph over all have fallen victim to that most pathetic of notions, nostalgia. And we kind of touched on that a little bit throughout, as as we were talking about how Grendel was having so much fun with all this. This was like what he read about as a kid, or the show, the shows he grew up watching and listening to on the radio. Like this, he was living out a fantasy for himself, and it took him too much. It took too much.
Yeah, this is my dad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Quite literally talking about the nostalgia of his youth, the nostalgia of this time period. He grew up with stories from this time period, but didn't live it himself. So a lot of this is sort of a meta statement on the stories that he grew up with.
Right. Yeah. And then the final panel here, they drop a super interesting kind of not Easter egg, but a through line as we find out that Johnny is Johnny Palumbo, obviously the relative of Barry Palumbo, Stacy Palumbo. So
I didn't pick that up. Oh
you
my
didn't get
god!
it? Oh, man.
I didn't see it. Thank you guys.
So that must be you think,
all my no prizes were just revoked.
I mean, that's the only reason you would throw in Palumbo there.
Oh my god! I didn't.
So
even
that's
think about
probably
that.
Barry Palumbo's dad, I would guess.
Or grandpa. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess if he's like 50s in the 80s, or he was like say 35, 40 in the 80s, then maybe his. Yeah,
Oh,
that's like my
I get
dad's
it.
age.
I get the story. Oh my
Yeah.
god! I'm fucking stupid.
Oh man, so yeah, this is 1932. So if he's like 20, I guess maybe it is his grandfather. You're probably right. their kid grew up in the 80s and then had a kid.
Maybe their
Or
nephew
grew up in the
or something.
60s or
It
something.
doesn't
Yeah,
really matter. Some relation.
but
Yeah.
then that gives us a little bit of background on why the Palumbo family is the way they are, why they had money, why Stacy's parents got killed because they were wrapped up in mob shit. And so that's, maybe even Barry was like less wrapped up in the mob shit and Stacy's parents were like in the mob and Barry was just kind of like just developer of whatever real estate.
And the irony here is that in not killing Sophia, Hunter is allowing his ultimate undoing, like many years later, right?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude.
Even more so. So what he saw in Sofia Valenti is maybe a spark of what he saw in
Sure.
in Stacy. So like that fire that he loves so much it is, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. You can draw that connection. That works.
Absolutely. So cool, man. That is fucking awesome. And then so he gets out to the roof where Grendel disarms the Shadow, and they kind of have a little talk here. Yeah, they have a little heart to heart. Like, I'm impressed, dude. Hunter somewhere had time to like wrap himself up. Oh, it looks like he took a shirt off, maybe a dead dude, and wrapped his bandage.
That's his tuxedo. It's his tuxedo shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You can
He's
see
pulling
his
it off
his
and
cuff.
jumps through the window.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I forgot. I didn't realize. Yeah, I forgot he was in his tuxedo.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
so
it's the panel where the guns are falling that Hunter has time to do.
Oh yeah,
to tie the tourniquet.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so then he's like, take your steam back to hell with you, devil, and like, just the talk of Shadow. He's like, I just already can see that you're a devil. That goes without saying. Yeah, you got a bullet hole in your side, and it seems like you've run out of snappy quotations in the face of defeat. Man, that's tete-a-tete. And Shadow's like, I haven't, bro. I got tons of them. And so, yeah, this is awesome. Next page, too. The Shadow knows.
Yeah, so he whips out butterfly knives, which are awesome. Classic bit of Chinese cutlery.
Yeah. And then they're just kind of just like, let's just battle. Like, this is what y'all been waiting for. This is our hand-to-hand combat. And Hunter calls him right out. Cranston, you know nothing. And that's when he catches him. On the next page, they're going back and forth. I embody the future that blossoms with evil. Like, you will not save this city from the evil that will become over the next 50 years. The bitter fruit. Its bitter fruit has found its ultimate harvest in me.
And these 2 pages, as a colorist, a lot of the time when I get books like this, I will attack pages at the end and towards the beginning that I know need to carry a lot of weight. And so that was the case here. So like, you can see that I'm putting a lot of time and effort into these panels to make those backgrounds really colorful and have a lot of movement and energy to really sell this action sequence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the burst in the Rothko whack
at
the bottom when you get them is really cool. I mean, both of the last.
Hey, I'm cool with it, man. If you want to call all my stuff just Rothko this and that, that's cool. Like I don't do those squares anymore, but I certainly was very into them at the time, and I really did a lot of that. So yeah, you can call it what it is.
Happy to, if you like it, I'm happy to continue calling it that.
Spade's a spade,
Yeah,
there you go.
And the
you
Kang
can do
Tang
worse,
continues.
Yeah.
Kang Tang Chang, and then whack.
A lot of Kang, a lot of Tang and Chang. Yep.
And then Hunter catches him right on the chin with his fork, and but then the Shadow butterflies him right in the shoulder, and so much Hunter stuff until Hunter finally busts out the final blow with the electricity. Kazits him right there, and the Shadow's like, oh my God, great! I mean, that's kind of like the action battle sequence we've been waiting for the whole time, really just blasting each other.
Yeah.
All right, and then everything's going numb. They're both like beat to shit, and then here comes Tommy Gun the Tommy twins over here just blasting away.
The Tommy twins.
and they're both just kind of like, let's blow this popsicle stand, and they go.
When he's doing his own medical assessment, that's like a very Batman-esque like internal kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not very cool.
Oh, what is it? Brachial artery intact.
Like as if he's overly aware of his body. Like he
Right.
can sense when a bone is broken, when a tendon is torn, he can tell.
He's always like
he's
third metatarsal fractured. Yep. And so they're both like ready to go away. The shadow goes into the shadows and then gets behind the Thompson twins and gets them, the Tommy twins. And Hunter's like, I'll take this sweet gyrocopter here. Takes off.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that panel, but I really like that panel where Hunter's like getting into the gyrocopter and there's all these like noises to the right of him, like, Jesus, no.
And again, they're kind of like unknowingly working together, like the shadows taking care of these guys while Grendel was able to get his escape.
Yep.
Shadow's like, damn it, I love that copter. He watches
no, he doesn't want to. He wants to prevent the bad guy from getting away. It's
right,
like,
and so he takes one of the Tommy guns and he's pumping him full of lead. And
my favorite copter, man.
Man, and then he doesn't want to, but he's blasting his favorite copter full of lead there. And Hunter's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that I had this in my pocket the whole time."
This is a really fun, another semi-splash here, but it's really fun because with a character like Batman, you just can't do this. You can't have him pick up a Tommy gun and just riddle something with holes. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it works with the shadow. You can have him do that, and it works. I mean, fuck, he's cackling, he's laughing as he does it, right?
Yeah, he's loving
so
it.
ridiculous.
And there's the parallel to Grendel, because Grendel's all about having fun.
Yeah.
And the shadow is also having fun in his own way,
Yeah, I feel like Lamont doesn't want to admit it, but he's always having fun, right? He loves this fucking game that he plays.
No one's fighting crime because they don't want to. They get some sort of, they get their jollies from it. And this is a point where he just beat up these guys. He just had probably one of the most insane, pulse pounding fights of his life, and so he's just like, what is it? Oh, I'm thinking of like the Penguin where he's like, just like blasting away, God, he's loving it. And Hunter's kind of got like, he's like, God. And then he goes away and he's like, my only hope now is to like use the scroll. He's probably got the scroll in one of the fork pockets.
That sounds about right, Ben. Or Eli, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Then he would like sort of twist it up and stick it into the fork.
Exactly.
That's all right.
So he pulls it out and he's just like, okay, let's do this incantation. I'm sure this will work, until he disappears and the gyrocopter crashes in Central Park, right where it'll stay until Brennan Wagner is fishing 70 years later and comes across he pulls out some strange thing.
Oh, that bridge that he drew there, that might be the bridge at oh, it's supposed to be Central Park. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say it looks like the bridge at Prospect Park down in Brooklyn.
It could be, man.
Yeah. Again, he throws in these little swans here. He loves to throw in his geese or swans or whatever. There's got to be some waterfowl. If there's water, there's waterfowl.
Yes.
Yep.
And so he's reading the incantation. It takes him back right before he crashes, and then the scroll itself is surrendered to the liquid lake below, to which it probably will, so where it can never harm anyone again.
Until I hook it one day.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
You're cutting open a rainbow trout one day, and inside you find this scroll, and you're like, huh? Should I read this aloud?
Yeah. Always read Latin aloud. When you find mysterious Latin, always read it aloud. That's the lesson here.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get a nice little epilogue for each character here. We're at the Cobalt Club. Yep. No trace of the body. Inspector Corona reports the only casualties were several of these fowl. Yep. And then this is kind of like
fowl, man. The poor waterfowl.
and this is where the shadow and I'm sure this is all of this I'm sure is incredibly fun for Matt to write, but then for him to put his character there in the classic saying like, for who knows what Grendel lurks in the hearts of men.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Classic, corny, good stuff though, because it's pulpy and sort of on the nose, which is what big nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Big
It's
nose. You want it to be on the nose a little bit.
Exactly. And then we get back to the black, white, and red of Hunter's reality. He's back in 80s New York, and he also does his thing. He talks about Stacy for a second, I think.
Yeah, I like to think that there was color until the Manson murders, and then black, white, and red for the 80s.
Ah, nice. Love it. I love the moon, that moon that's in the distance with the clouds and the kind of like 80s style. Love it.
Simple, just a simple knockout on that line work and treating it really simple. All this stuff in the 80s, anytime that I did something here in the 80s where it's black, white, and red, I had to treat the color stage as deco and as clean cut as Pop was drawing it,
Definitely. And the classic skull and everything Grendel that you need. And now this is a
Grendel still life, you can call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the most recent Hunter story that's out there. This is like the last time that Matt has drawn Hunter, really. Is that true?
Correct.
Okay,
No, sorry. After this, we did that was Shadow, Death of Margot. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah.
The last Hunter story. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
He ends both these crossovers with a busted wing.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
He there you go. He notes that though, despite his sincere recollections and regrets, I never existed back in that time. The novel that I published is only up here, so if he has a spare weekend, he could rewrite Gamora Highway. How to just pull it out of the memory banks.
So cool. God, that was so good. And like in the I'm looking at it in Comixology on my iPad, and there's like some variant covers and stuff. And the next thing is like this Grendel Shadow Baltimore Comic-Con exclusive cover, which is like so like movie poster from the 50s, the 30s or whatever, so Art Deco. And then the next one is basically this image with the shadow behind it.
I think my favorite of the covers was the second issue cover with the big skull. For whatever reason, I really like that one with the big eye.
Yeah.
The skull with the big eye. It's really, really pops.
So much awesome stuff. And it's pretty crazy. Like, I mean, there's a lot of, these praise, like Patton Oswalt, he seems like a pretty big Grendel fan. He's like the panels inside these pages sting and swoop, horrify and exhilarate, amuse and disturb.
Yeah, he did the introduction, I think, to that book.
Oh yeah, in this thing, yeah.
Yep.
What a freaking book, man. Holy hell.
Yeah, we're big Patton fans. After he did that introduction for us, he comped us tickets to his Portland show. And I took my buddy Morgan, Ben, who's working with you.
Yeah.
And we went and saw Patton live in Portland, and then we got to meet him backstage VIP. It was awesome.
Oh,
so
sick.
awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
He's such a cool comic fan. He's got a MODOK book out right now, and he's also he's playing MODOK in like this new cartoon that's coming out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's a perfect cast, I think.
Absolutely.
Patton is MODOK. Absolutely, yeah.
He's funny in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. He's like
he's got his fingers in a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of comic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for him, man. Just amazing. Like I would love to like hear this adapted to like a Shadow radio show style, to like hear the way that they characterize Grendel or something like that. Or even I had said this in the chat too, like it'd be so cool to like do up a Grendel radio show. Like,
oh yeah, you should just make it, man.
Okay, done.
You should just make it. I mean, that's not that difficult for you. I mean, hell, you'll put this episode out like tomorrow or something, all edited with the bells and whistles and everything. So,
oh man, that was really fun. I mean, I have a lot of fun editing this stuff.
I can tell. It's awesome.
So much fun. Now I would love to invite you back for next week, where I'd like to have Matt and kind of you guys kind of talk about the Shadow, Matt's love of the Shadow, and then moving into the Devil in That's the show.
Behold.
Behold the Devil. Yeah, because you had said that was some of the first work that you did with Matt, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just helping him out a little bit.
Still though.
It wasn't the kind of thing where I was officially hired on or I even got paid. It was just something I just helped him out a little bit back in the day. I think I was late middle school, early high school when that happened.
Yeah,
And we
that's
were
awesome.
we were stuck in Florida for a while.
Really?
In the summer, my sister was going to a tennis academy and it was really hot and sweaty and we were just kind of stuck there for a while. So I worked on that. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool though.
Cool.
Awesome, man. So yeah, we'll get into the logistics of that. And oh man, anything else? Anything else, Ben?
No, Brennan, thank you so much for joining us and all
Yeah,
those
man.
insights. And I it's funny with the Johnny Palumbo thing. It's a story that I like a lot, and now it's like, oh my god, like that's like it even more. So
Yeah.
It's even better. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
right.
It elevates it for you. That's awesome.
for sure, yeah.
Sometimes little details do that. You know, they just raise it enough or make it that much more lived in and real.
Totally. Are there any other points in the Grendel cycle that you are like personally favorited of or anything? Like, because obviously you're always welcome back anytime you want to be on the show.
I mean, I'll come back on and talk if you guys want, during God and the Devil. That's my favorite.
Awesome.
Oh, great.
I love all the Epi Thatcher stuff. Love it.
Yeah, me too.
It's trippy and psychedelic and religious and violent and weird, and I love
And funny. It's like frequently very, very funny
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's humor
as
all
well.
throughout
Yeah.
the Grendel verse.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
But then also War Child is easily my favorite of the graphic novels. Yeah.
Hell
Nice,
yeah.
dude.
I also
That'll be
like Devils and Deaths. You guys read that one? The
Four Devils, one.
Is that the Croatian
War
one?
Devils One Hell is fantastic.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
one's
the Teddy one.
fantastic. That one's like close second for me. But no, it's called Devils and Deaths. It's the one with Edvin and Darko.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
on the cover.
That's
like,
it.
oh yeah.
That was like maybe the first one I ever read, and it just blew my mind.
It's incredible. It's so
They're-
good.
they're-
It's a
they're-
perfect little apocalyptic story, truncated. You actually don't need to know anything about the Grendel universe at all. Like I could give it to a totally random person and they would get the story. It's just this apocalyptic feudal society, and that's all you need to know. And there's like a weird ape creature that's kind of like a yeti, and there's lightsabers, and
Yeah.
there's like factions and
So much
warring
more.
between the factions, and oh man, it's so good, so good.
Man, once you get into those Grendel tales, man, that is some of the greatest stuff. So
Yeah, the
incredibly
future stuff,
key.
yeah.
The
'cause it's really
racing
out there.
one, man, me and Ben talk about that one a lot.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
The Indy 500 skiff
Yeah.
racing
Yeah,
hospital. Oh, what a heartbreaker.
I like the one that Eli, you mentioned, the Four Devils One Hell. That one's fantastic. It's
So
got
good.
such a southern Louisiana vibe,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
so Creole, and the bit with the parade and all of it is just the setting feels so lived in and real.
And the different Grendel, just in a design sense, like the inverted one, and then the girl with the helmet. and-
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah. And Teddy Christensen, the painter there, he's one of my favorite painters ever. And I take a lot of influence from him. The way that I paint my stuff today, I go for sort of these exaggerated chunky shapes the way that Teddy does. I mean, Teddy really hit a note for me when I was a certain age, looking at that stuff, realizing, oh man, he caricatures and he exaggerates this stuff and he paints it in such a way that is so inviting and so juicy and so lived in and real, and but also cartoony. He's fantastic. I really like that series.
Yeah. And it adds to that grittiness of like the Nolans style, and
Yeah.
there's the card player cowboy Grendel dude.
The
and-
card player is great. The card Grendel, he's
Yes.
all the four Grendels are so unique in that one. Really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Love it. Well, hell yeah. Awesome, man. Thank you
Yeah,
so
I'll
much
come
again.
back on and talk for any one of these. Obviously, I didn't work on any of them. Just worked
Yeah.
on
Yeah, it's
one.
all right. Yeah.
But sure, I'll come back and talk. Yeah.
Hell
That'll be winter of 2024.
Well, and if you guys, obviously, I'll come back on and talk for Devil's Odyssey when you guys get to it, like fucking 5 years down the line.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking when the newest issue comes out, like we might as well like just jump and cover it, because it's like new Grendel. We might as well cover it when it comes out.
It's not
And
a bad
then-
idea, honestly.
Yeah, just to stay up, and then so maybe so then we can chat then.
Yep, I'm working on it right now. Just color
Hell
page.
yeah. Do we have a date? I think Matt told me something. It's like next year that the next issue's coming out.
Unfortunately, they're slated, quite a bit of the ways out. I think issue
April
5
or
is set
something?
for like September.
Oh shit, that far?
Wow.
Damn, no.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
All
my deadlines are pretty far out, which is crazy.
Word.
We're wrapping it up though. I mean, Pop just finished number 8. He just wrapped it up with the inks, and I'm on number 6. So we'll have it done pretty soon.
Cool. I can't wait, man. Hell yeah.
And then and I don't know if he said this, and I don't know if I'm still recorded on the podcast or whatever, but we have something in mind after that. So
Yeah, he kind of dropped something in our chat a little bit.
yeah.
Awesome. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Until next time, vivat Grendel, and keep on grendeling.
See you guys.